Next slide. So we continue from where we stopped. Okay? That the old covenant was not supposed to last long. Okay? Go back to that slide a bit. It wasn't supposed to last long. Okay? It was supposed to be the foundation, and which was given to Moses and Aaron and to Elijah. But the whole thing was available to them. Okay? But not to all the people. So Christ came so that he will continue with this and introduced it to Jeremiah by telling Jeremiah that, look, you are fighting a spiritual battle, so don't get tired so quickly, okay? You are fighting a spiritual battle. So the world that we live in is predicated and perturbed in the background by a massive and greater cosmic spiritual struggle. If we understand this, we will escape a lot of disappointment, okay? A lot of weariness, and a lot of loss of faith, as I was trying to encourage us. Next slide. Now, some of these things range from mild unconscious subservience, such to some kind of radicalized belief systems who believe in poverty for the greater good of some cosmic purpose. Okay? So we wonder, why is it so hard to lead people? You want to provide roads for them, okay? You want to provide homes for them. You want to give them pipe-borne water. You want to give them all the education. But they don't seem to want it. They will accept those things and then spit it back at your face, like Jesus Christ said. He said what? And notice some of these things are very clear in the Gospels. Jesus Christ said, don't give your pearls to what? To pigs, because they will trample on it and they will what? Attack you. Okay? They don't value it. Most human beings all over the world don't value those good things you think you are giving them. Okay? Because they live in a complicated world, okay, where spirit beings are over them, okay? They are all bound to spirit beings, to other human beings who may claim to be, under some form of spiritual, sometimes cultural yoke or system as well. So it seems as if the people believe in poverty, okay? It's so difficult. And this is the problem that most governments are facing all over the world. And the United Nations is also facing. And sometimes you find that educated people, they seem to talk as if, they've lost their minds, okay? The only issue is because they have faced these problems, okay? They face these problems. That you give people good things and they cannot, they throw it back at you. They destroy, they trample on it, okay? And come against you. And you wonder, what am I going to do? So they rather win a spiritual war. They are looking at winning a spiritual war, while you are thinking of increasingly on goods and services, okay? Roads, education, and all that. The Bible says, what shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? And most religions are based on this, okay? What shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Some of these people believe that. When you go to India, you see it so much, okay? When you go to the Buddhist monks, you see it so much. Some of them will ignore whatever thing there is in the world, and they will go and stay in the monastery, fasting and praying. And some of them call it, the modern people have created a new name for it, and they call it minimalism. Okay? Minimalism. Next slide. Now we have our own in Christianity, so we don't need any other, okay? We don't need any other. They can practice it there. Because most of the time it is based on rules, okay, that are not bound to any authority. And you because they don't understand that they are racing with horses, okay? They think it's about human beings. And this is the problem. Even the issue of climate change. If you don't understand that you are fighting a spiritual battle, you will take climate change as just the issue of maybe reducing the number of cars, okay? But since they started talking about climate change, what has happened? And some of us Christians started talking about it too, okay? What has happened? Wars have increased. You know, because it's a spiritual battle. And if you don't understand this, you keep on fighting the wrong person. And remember what we talked about, okay? The other time, in the other video, differentiating between God and His prophet, okay? These people understand that there is no difference. That as you, as the emissary of God, are His representative, so if they destroy you here, they will affect God. Is that not? But this is what creates the problem, the humanitarian crisis, the continuous wars. Okay? And the solution, rather, is to relate directly to God. Okay? The solution is to relate directly to God. Because when you relate directly to God, you will now be able to find the real issue. Okay? That's why Christianity believes in relationship with God, then relationship with man. Okay? Relationship with God, relationship with man. So we have traditional religions, Hinduism, and other religions. They limit themselves to tribal castes and the strata of society, to which one belongs. Okay, for the sake of some of those spiritual wars, spiritual battle. Next slide. So the resurgence of some of these belief systems have led to a modern form of a rise in rebellion and struggles all over the world, leading to widespread signal regime and increase in instability. Okay? And these struggles around the world are not separated from, yes, religions, but religions are closely knit to what? Ethnic and racial affiliation. Okay? So when you look at the United States, you discover that the United States, apart from having Christianity and allowing a lot of Muslims, okay, also has allowed a lot of immigration so that people who practice Hinduism, Buddhism, and all those things have brought it in. Okay? So a lot of the positions that some of these secularists, people you think are secularists, are atheists, are taking, are actually positions that a Buddhist would take, okay? And a Hindu person would take. So they could talk about religion, but we know that they are practicing those religions. Okay? So this is the thing. So we Christians must be able to know which side we are on. Okay? And we fight right, according to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. Next slide. And that means, and in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, what we see is that the weapons of warfare are symbolic. Okay? We don't fight physical battles. We fight spiritual battles. Okay? Through prayer. And through prayer. But first, by having what? The belt of truth. Okay? The what? Preparation of the gospel. The sandals of the gospel. Okay? The shield of faith. The sword of the Spirit. Okay? The breastplate of righteousness. Okay? And then the helmet of what? Salvation. And all these things have meanings. So Paul, the Apostle Paul, deliberately converted those instruments of war to symbolize spiritual instruments of battle. Okay? So this is how we win the war. Through spiritual battles, not physical wars. Okay? Next slide. So, what are you? Are you a minimalist? You can be a Hindu, okay? Minimalism actually comes from Hindu, the practice of Hinduism, okay? Also, Judaism has its own forms of minimalism. Are you a Muslim, okay? A Muslim borrows heavily from what? Judaism, okay? and Christianity. Okay? So, which one are you? Okay? But if you see the way the Muslim prays, it's very similar to what the Hindu prays also. Because they are neighbors. Is that not? So, are you a traditionalist? Okay? This is a question. And Judaism came from a heavily traditionalist background. So Judaism would understand, okay, the issues of traditionalism and how to solve them. Okay? Or are you a Christian? Okay? And the Christian perspective is going directly at the source of the problem. Remove barriers, okay? Ethnic barriers, okay? And racial barriers, remove them. Okay? And we become one man under God. Okay? Now, atheism does not want this. Atheism does not believe in anything God, because it believes that God limits the human potential. Okay? And there is no fact to prove that there is God. Okay? But, of course, there are other videos that we want to look at to see my discussions on this. To see my discussions on the argument between Christianity and atheism. The issue of science, okay? Is scientific fact mutually exclusive? We discovered that it is not, okay? Like the article I was reading yesterday, all you see in science is it is observed, okay? Science is only observational, okay? They observe what has already been there, okay? And then they discover how to manipulate it for the good of man. Well, it's basically just observations. Okay? So the Christian belief tries to go beyond that. And it is very, it's a kind of poetic justice that recent scientific discoveries are just amplifying what Christianity has already said. Working with the Jewish Bible, okay? And the words of Christ and his apostles. Science just amplifies those things, and this is what Christianity is about. Okay, so Christianity is a complete understanding. Okay, it's a complete understanding of what human beings are. It's like what their purpose is. Okay, what they are made for. And it enables us to fight against the real enemy instead of fighting against human beings. Okay? So it is for spiritual and physical prosperity, but under God. Next slide. So I believe that this will help us in our